In a brilliantly executed military maneuver, Ukrainian forces have launched an aggressive operation to fundamentally shift battlefield dynamics around Pokrovsk. The Ukrainian military developed an ingenious plan to turn the tables on Russian forces through strategic misdirection by targeting the remaining pockets of trapped enemy troops near Dobropillia. The operation has been spectacular in its execution, with hundreds of combat drones filling the skies, creating an omnipresent surveillance and strike network. The Ukrainians methodically tightened the noose around isolated Russian positions. The psychological impact has been devastating. Faced with the overwhelming reality of their situation, remaining Russian troops found themselves with only one rational choice, leading to mass surrendering on an unprecedented scale. General Alexander Syrsky has prepared a highly effective plan to divert Russian attention and desperately needed manpower away from the brutal push south of Pokrovsk and east of Myrnohrad by launching a focused Ukrainian counterattack to the north. The goal is twofold and elegant in its strategic implications: to systematically clear the remaining pockets of encircled Russian troops near Dobropillia and to stabilize this volatile sector, freeing valuable Ukrainian forces to strike from the north and apply crushing pressure on Russian formations threatening Pokrovsk, forcing them to reallocate precious reserves. Ukraine has already cleared several of these pockets completely and is now conducting operations to eliminate the rest. According to Syrsky, the renewed offensive in the Dobropillia direction is strategically designed to stretch already thin Russian reserves even thinner, forcing them to defend multiple axes simultaneously, thereby preventing the enemy from concentrating their main forces against Pokrovsk. The tactical execution demonstrates Ukrainian prowess at its finest. Ukrainian forces are now pushing aggressively north of Nikhonorivka and south through Zeleny Pole, supporting the wider deblocking operations around Pokrovsk and Myrnohrad. A full week of brutal, unrelenting fighting has left Zeleny Pole and neighboring villages literally littered with Russian bodies, a testament to the ferocity of the engagement. One chilling geolocated video shows a single dirt road where corpses lie every 10 to 15 meters, providing clear proof of the devastating effectiveness of Ukrainian artillery, precision drone strikes, and expertly executed ambush tactics. Even more Russian soldiers lie dead, scattered through the dense woods nearby, where they were caught while desperately trying to retreat or dig in. Realizing their situation was utterly hopeless, many Russian soldiers began surrendering en masse. Ukrainian drone operators demonstrated incredible creativity by adapting their tactics, mounting loudspeakers on FPV drones, flying low over Russian trenches, and broadcasting clear surrender instructions. In one compelling, confirmed case, 2 Russian soldiers holed up in a building tried to fortify their position, but their determination crumbled after being targeted by a vampire hexacopter and several FPV drones, one after the other. They emerged, dropped their rifles, and followed the drone's instructions to Ukrainian lines. Ukrainian reconnaissance later reported triumphantly that dozens of Russian soldiers surrendered after similar broadcasts, with footage showing how they were taken as prisoners of war. In other areas, Ukrainian intelligence identified Russian infantry concentrations and coordinated devastating precision strikes using different types of drones and artillery, effectively breaking the remaining organized resistance. Freed from holding encircled sectors, Ukrainian assault and air assault brigades can exploit the momentum to strike at the Russian northern flank near Rodinska. With many Russian soldiers choosing surrender, the Russian command became deeply afraid of a catastrophic domino effect and a full Ukrainian breakthrough that could expose the entire northern flank. To prevent the risk of their main encircling effort being destroyed, Russian officers hastily diverted precious reserves from Pokrovsk and Myrnohrad to plug the gap. However, their timing could not have been worse. As the autumn mud season has arrived in full force, several Russian columns, including armored vehicles and supply trucks, became hopelessly bogged down in the soaked terrain while attempting to maneuver toward Dobropillia. In one disastrous incident, 5 armored vehicles advanced into the area to reinforce the collapsing front, but 3 of them got completely stuck in the mud, forcing their crews to abandon the vehicles and wade through flooded ditches. Ukrainian forces seized the opportunity with ruthless efficiency. Precision strikes with HIMARS rockets obliterated the convoy, while Ukrainian FPV drones and hexacopters methodically finished off the remaining vehicles by dropping high explosive charges directly onto their hulls. Russian military bloggers desperately tried to downplay the disaster, claiming that the infantry had managed to dismount and fortify their positions. But geolocated evidence tells a dramatically different story of burned-out armored columns and hundreds of Russian bodies scattered across open fields and trenches. Overall, the Ukrainian clearing operation has decisively achieved its objective: to divert crucial Russian attention from Pokrovsk, forcing the enemy to reallocate troops after several positions collapsed. Syrskyi's plan of targeting the northern flank aims to restore much-needed breathing room to Ukrainian defenders in Pokrovsk and Myrnohrad. It remains to be seen whether the Russian command will allow the northern front to disintegrate to maintain their push from the south. But every desperate attempt to support those near Dobropillia has only deepened the catastrophe, leaving the Russians with mounting losses. The scale of Russian commitment is staggering. The Russians have deployed approximately 27,000 soldiers in the Pokrovsk-Myrnohrad area, supported by around 360 armored vehicles and 160 artillery systems, with President Zelensky stating that Ukraine's defenders are outnumbered 8-1, but still resist remarkably. Russian efforts to enter Myrnohrad were confirmed by a Ukrainian spokesperson, but confirmed that Myrnohrad remains firmly under Ukrainian control. Geolocated videos show the symbolic destruction of a heavily armored Russian turtle tank on one of the approaches. The vehicle bypassed the Dragon's Teeth fortifications through a gap on the road, but was destroyed by a Ukrainian FPV drone just as it passed under a gas pipeline arch. The surviving infantry were then eliminated by drone-dropped munitions. Unable to make it into any buildings to hide, the tank exploded in a massive fireball as Russians were symbolically destroyed at the gate into the city. Behind the staggering attrition lies a darker truth. As Russian generals have cynically found ways to turn this massacre into profit, investigations reveal widespread extortion and corruption across frontline units. Ordinary soldiers are forced to pay their commanders substantial bribes, not to be sent on suicide assaults into Pokrovsk and Myrnohrad. Those who cannot or refuse to pay are simply reset, a chilling term used inside the Russian army for execution or deliberate death in a suicidal assault.